And so, with all of this having said, right, if we summarize the timeline of the different changes that happened, there's so many data, there's so many content, consumers are bombarded with ads each day, and so the modern day marketer challenges are our brand and user experience still optimal? Are we really driving relevance and resonance to our consumers, right? The second one is increasing complexity in the different touch points. I have a brand.com, I have a Momo and Shopee site, I have an app. How do I now connect and synergize all of these together? And so with all of the different touch points comes disconnected and siloed data. Am I talking to Levana already 100 times per week because I didn't know that she was the one who was actually downloading my app and is also browsing through my brand.com? So how can we synergize this disconnected and siloed data? And the last, and also not the least, but it's very important, challenge of marketers today is that there's so much inefficient investment, right? How can we ensure that our investments are very much optimal? And with all of the brand safety, with all of the ad fraud, with all of the viewability, are we really taking our media investments and digital investments to a greater height? So this is where AI, right? This is where programmatic AI and technology allows us to empower our lives, right? AI has been empowering and transforming our lives as we know it, even transforming and mirroring advertising. It helps us transform experience, simplify our tasks. It also helps us influence decisions and expand our human capabilities and limits. What this means for us is that if there are 6,000 ad exposures of an ad each day with a certain consumer, right? From the moment that we wake up and check our phone, when we commute, when we go back to the office and browse through the internet, when we go to the taxi in OOH, there's so many ad exposures. But what AI allows us to do is to turn those exposures into outcomes, right? And what do we mean by outcomes? Business outcomes are something that we should measure and what should matter to us. We need to measure what matters to us, and those should be business outcomes. So if I am a brand who wants to launch a new product, right? I do not want just exposures. I want an incremental reach. I want my TV ad to be incremented by my online video. I don't just want accidental visits to my site. I want quality visits. I want people staying in the site, engaging through my content. And once they are there, I also would want them, right? The outcome that I want, which will impact my business as a sales and marketing lead, is voucher downloads, right? To redeem members-only discounts. And this is getting more and more complex because what if I really just want to drive lifetime value and customer loyalty? I don't want it for my first-time users. And now AI and technology actually allows us to determine these outcomes depending on what state of the purchase journey the consumers are. And even online orders, right? And this can be a combination of AI and creativity where I only want to push an ad of online ordering whenever a new season in Netflix comes out. So how do we now synergize both? How intelligent can our marketing campaign be? And it all is based on those amounts of data. And so for a decade, right, Xaxis has been in the business for almost a decade, and we actually are experts of turning media into outcomes. And this is powered by our proprietary AI technology called Copilot, right? It is the same. The Copilot is the captain's co-pilot in the ship of transformation. So Copilot helps us, media agencies, turn different digital media investments into business outcomes that matter to our clients. And this can be an overwhelming slide, but what this says is that Copilot goes into billions and billions of unstructured data and data points. And what it does is that it has so many targeting capabilities that are more than just demographic more than just location targeting, but it goes very advanced in terms of if I have an automotive client, say I have an automotive client, right? What Copilot will do is that it will search through thousands of data points and look at a feature selection to say, I'm looking for someone who's ready to buy a car, right? Is it going to be, it's going to be Livana, who's a female, online on weekends. She is very much, we can see in the dashboard that she is very much active on 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., but we don't know her personally. We also seen that in the last couple of days, she has been very active both in travel and automotive side. But we don't just want to target one person. That is why AI and technology allows us to find and look for different profiles who share the same features as Livana. And AI is going to cluster those into different segments and put a value in them because we know, right, our human insight synergizes with the AI insights that says car buyers are not all the same. You can be a first-time car buyer because you just got out of the university, or you can be a car upgrader. And the communication that is going to be driven between a first-time car buyer and a car upgrader should never be the same. Otherwise, it's not going to be relevant.